Well, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Ken Busby, your cultural czar and member of the board of the Tulsa Symphony, and we're here today with two of my favorite people, not just in the symphony world, but just because they are just wonderful people. We have principal timpanist Jerry Scholl and his beautiful wife, absolutely beautiful wife, Dominique Corbeil, who is a violinist with the Tulsa Symphony. Bonjour, good afternoon.
Oh, hey, Ken.
Good to see you too. It really is. Not too much of a distance, but your home is in Wichita.
It is now, but of course we lived in Tulsa for a number of years.
Right, right. I liked it better when you were in Tulsa, but that's just me. But you're having a good time. So let's talk a little bit. As these great musician moments, people are really enjoying them and getting to really know people that they've seen in the orchestra for years, but may never have had a really chance to meet and get to know you a little bit. So how long have you been involved with the Tulsa Symphony?
Since the very inception.
Right.
Since the first.
And of course, we were both with the Tulsa Philharmonic prior and worked the transition with everyone else.
Right. I just wanted you to get to say it rather than me say it. But we've had the very good fortune of knowing each other for many years. When I was at the Arts and Humanities Council and so forth, and so it's been great to have you part of the family. I mean, we all grew up together with the symphony, and it's been a lot of fun. It really has, and the fact that you've stuck with us all of this time.
Well, you've stuck with us too.
There we go.
It's been a great.
It has. So, just because I want to know this, I'm going to start with you, Dominique. How did you come to the violin?
I started to play when I was 4 years old, and my parents asked me if I wanted to play, and I said yes, without probably knowing exactly what I was getting into. But I stuck with it till this year. I was not the greatest student probably when I was young, but then I started to to play with the Montreal Youth Symphony, where I'm from, and then started to do youth festival. And I think the defining moment really for me is when I went to the Canadian Youth Symphony Festival in Bound for 10 days of nonstop rehearsals and concerts and coaching with great musicians and artists and work with fantastic conductors. And I think it's really when I came back from that first trip that I decided this is what I wanted to do.
How neat. Wow. Okay. That is cool. And Jerry, you and the timpani?
Well, I think it's kind of similar, actually. I grew up in Massachusetts, just outside of Boston, and when I joined the Greater Boston Youth Symphony, and I did that. I think I started playing when I was much younger, but wasn't really serious until then. I had some great teaching, and then I also had an experience of going to a music camp. It's called New England Music Camp. It's in Waterville, Maine, not far from Augusta.
Okay.
And I met my family there. You know, that's where, even though I was into sports and soccer and things like that when I was a kid, music was definitely something that I'd say best at. I wasn't the strongest academic student, but music really hit me well. And then, as I said, I went to this music camp and met people who were all like me, and that was it.
Wow. Isn't that cool to have that kind of experience, and then for you just to know, both of you, to know what you wanted to do?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's just, I think that's fascinating. So I know during the summers, you often, for a long time, you have attended a music festival and participated in a music festival. Remind me which one?
It's called the Colorado Music Festival in Boulder, Colorado.
And that's not happening this year.
We've been playing with CMF for this would have been our 24th season. And of course, we'll do some sort of online concert and reach out like every orchestra is doing, but we unfortunately won't be there this summer.
Well, hopefully you'll be back for your silver anniversary with them next year.
Exactly.
We hope so.
Wow, I know that's got to be hard because Colorado is and that area is just a beautiful area too.
Really is. It kind of fits well with us, especially because it's a real foodie place as well, and of course hiking in the outdoors. It's so gorgeous, and we going there for 23 summers, we go there not just for the music, but because we have a lot of friends who live in the Boulder area.
Yeah.
One of our son's best friends is only 3 days apart in birth because his parents and Dominique and I were in birthing class together.
Wow.
17 years ago.
Wow, so. That's fun. You mentioned being foodies, and I know you both love to cook. So I have a feeling you're probably doing a lot of that right now.
We definitely have. This has been one of the positive aspects of this situation is that we're home in the evening instead of being performing concerts or rehearsing. So we've been able to, finish our online teaching at 6:30, and then go on these several hours of cooking these fabulous meals. And it doesn't matter if we eat at 8, 9, 9:30, and it's been really great. We've been exploring a lot of new recipes and
cool. I'd say 8:39, 9:30. That's my favorite time to eat. So you're speaking my language. I know I'm a true Frenchman at heart. I believe that dinner should be after 8 o'clock. But so have you found you said new recipes, something that has really excited you, that you've really loved, that you found during all this?
Well, we have a number of different chefs that we really go to. Recent over the last year and a half, named Otto Lange in London. Mm-hmm. It's a pair of chefs together. One is Palestinian, the other one's Israeli. Mm. And his combinations of foods, especially with herbs and things like that, is really remarkable. And just, to use a catchphrase now, where you hear this on television shows of a chef using the term flavor profile, right?
Oh, yes. Yes.
But the truth is that he really gets it. And there are combinations that I would never think of. And so we've, done a lot of these recipes, and they're just so much fun to make. And they're really healthy, really good for you.
We also have been following Thomas Keller's masterclass.
Yes.
The creative way we found to use our little extra free time is we subscribe to masterclass.com. So we're currently happy to following this online cooking with Thomas Keller.
How fun. How fun.
Yeah.
Now, let me ask you this. Have you thought about now compiling some sort of cookbook after all of this of your favorite COVID recipes that you might put together? I don't know.
Not a bad idea.
No, it's funny though. A long time ago, and I think someone did this in the Minnesota Orchestra. We had an idea of putting together a cookbook of musicians across the country or across the world of their favorite recipes and putting a compilation together. I think it was already done though by the Minnesota Orchestra, but I mean, that would be a cool thing. Gina, for example, is an amazing baker. We're so lucky that she brings things sometimes to ballets and such.
Right.
There are a lot of great chefs in the Tulsa Symphony. So.
That's cool. That's cool. So I know cooking would be something that you would do or that you love doing, but if you weren't a timpanist, if you weren't a violinist, have you ever thought about what you would be doing today?
I'm not sure what. Well, cooking probably would be right there. But so many friends have said you guys should, you should open a restaurant. You should do something professionally with this. When I was younger, before I went into music, I've always thought I would be a veterinarian. But
cool.
That probably would be difficult to get back to that these days. But that was one of my my career path that I thought about.
That's cool.
And I've always been kind of good with people. I get along well. I'm a fairly good listener. And so somewhere I think I'd always had a penchant for being a therapist, a psychologist. I've always thought it was really interesting and problem solving and things like that. So.
I can see that with you. I really can. You are a good listener. You really are. So
I try. But I'm also, we don't tend to be perfect in our lives.
Yes, well, yeah, that's true, and none of us is perfect, so we'll just leave it at that. We can always be better, right? Just like in practicing and rehearsing and so forth. How many? You mentioned teaching too. How much teaching are you doing right now? And how's the online teaching working for you?
Well, I transitioned from as Kansas went into a lockdown to teach all my students online, even my 6, 7-year-old who are technology savvy anyway,
right.
So not a problem there. And it's been very positive. And one fun project that we are working on that normally wouldn't be doing because I would have an end of the year recital. So I'm having all my students working on a video project. So it's very, very interesting. They're learning different skills.
Yeah, absolutely. Very cool.
For me, I'm the head of the percussion department at Wichita State University, and we hit the ground running. We had, during spring break, that was our time to get everything going. So I teach a world music class, which takes place on Tuesdays and Thursday mornings. And so straight to Zoom. I had actually used Zoom somewhere close to 7 or 8 years ago when it first came out.
Oh, wow.
Was doing a project with my percussion ensemble called the Impulse Percussion Group at Wichita State. And we employed Zoom by a composer who we worked with remotely from Minnesota while we rehearsed together. And then we did a Zoom meeting with her, a Q&A during the actual performance with the audience because she was in New York working on an opera that she had written.
Okay.
So I was fairly familiar with it. Thank goodness Zoom has gotten a lot better. For percussion, it's really difficult as opposed to other instruments because of the highs and lows and the quick of how loud and soft you can play. Snare drums don't tend to come out very well. So luckily Zoom has a lot of features that you can work with to make teaching work pretty well. It's not perfect, but it's okay. Classroom teaching though has been pretty good, and I think one of the best parts of what's happened actually is because so many of my colleagues who play in major orchestras and ballets and operas are not working, or soloists who aren't playing. So we all got together and created a consortium of percussionists, and we gave free master classes to students from all over the country. And so we would pick days during the week where people would meet, and all the students would come in. We're lucky that our schools have close to have the capacity for 300 people at one time. So we can have a really large group of kids who would get the opportunity to learn from these great experts.
Wow, well, that is a tremendous opportunity for them. Wow, yeah. It's interesting. Our Oklahoma Summer Arts Institute this year has had to go virtual, but they said it's been great for them in some ways because people that wouldn't normally have had time to fly in and do a master class and so forth are willing to do a video or willing to do some work with the students that way. And so they've actually been able to find some really, really great people to work with and keep that program going pretty strongly. So it's, as you say, it's not perfect, it's not the same, but still making the most of it. Yeah, exactly. That's cool. Well, listen, Dominique and Jerry, it has just been great visiting with you. It's been too long since I've seen you, so this has been really nice.
Same here. Thank you.
So you're going to do a performance for us now. So what are we going to get to hear?
We will be playing the last movement of Djemba. And Djemba has been written by Christian Beer. Christian is a violist with the St. Louis Symphony.
Okay.
It's a really wonderful piece because it juxtaposes the violin with non-pitched percussion. So I'll be playing, and the piece Djemba the first part of it comes from the word djembe, African percussion drum.
Okay. And
so I'm using an instrument called an ashiko, which is from Senegal, with 2 congas to simulate the 3 different pitch content that he's written for. And of course, it being a jig is coming from the Bach suite.
This is going to be fun. I can't wait. I cannot wait. So I will invite our audience to sit back, relax, and we will enjoy your performance. Great to see you both. Take good care, and I will look forward to seeing you in person, I hope, very, very soon.
Great to see you, Ken.
Thanks,
All right.
Ken.
You take care now.
All the best.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
We will play the final movement, the Gigue, from Djemba. Djemba was written by Christian Vier, a violist with the St. Louis Symphony.
One of the things I love about this piece is the juxtaposition between the violin and non-pitched percussion. Djemba, the first part of it, standing for djembe, is alluding to African drums. This right here, this is an ashiko from Senegal, paired with 2 congas, so I have 3 pitches is what she's asking for. And of course the Gigue is based on the Bach suite.